Hello you guys, welcome back to another video. This isn't the actual intro. We are going to be waiting for Brie, but like always she is taking forever, so I decided I might as well get going with setting everything up. I got the ruffles, I got the potato wedges, I got some, and the Valentine. And then we got some sparkling waters. But yeah, like I said, now we're just waiting on Brie. She should be here any minute now. Any minute now.
One hour later.
Oh yeah.
Wagon.
Where you at?
Right here, no miss.
You're taking forever.
You know, I'm parked.
Okay. Apúrale. Alright guys, welcome back to another video. It's again Alex and
Brie.
And this is the official introduction because earlier I was just killing time. But anyways you guys, so we bring to you guys today a mukbang. We haven't done one in a really long time, and I feel like it's time since it's the New Year's. We want to tell you guys a little bit about what happened to us last year. We're going to be talking about that today. How do you feel, babe?
I don't know. I'm excited, but I don't know exactly. Like, I know what happened, but like, there's things that are foggy. Obviously, I don't know.
Yeah,
like, literally what
true.
happened yesterday. So.
That's true. But anyways, you guys, it's gonna be the first time that I actually try Hungry Howie's. I don't know if you guys have ever tried it, or is this like California wide, or is this just like here in town?
Honestly, I don't know pizza, but I don't know. But growing up, I had it as a kid. Like, literally, that was our go-to pizza. Also because it was down the street from our place, so it's like, oh, Hungry House, I eat a Hungry House.
Taste test. Taste test. You know what I forgot? I was gonna buy some chicken wings.
Oh, that's nice.
Nah, I think
You know, Parmesan. Ah.
Mm. Mm. Oh yeah,
That's good.
that's really good.
Oh, I'm over here gonna take your pizza and I have mine here.
We should buy napkins. You don't have napkins in your car?
Mm-mm.
Well, let's buy us.
Guys, this is our first meal. At least my first meal. Have you ate anything?
I had a protein shake earlier.
And it's already gonna be 3 o'clock. So
Yeah, so if you guys see us eat all of it, that's why.
don't judge.
We're trying to justify why we're gonna eat all of it.
Dang, Natalia, just open the whole bottle. Guys, it might look familiar because we've done videos here. This is our park, not our park because obviously. Is this our first picnic that we've come to? Like, this is our park this is our first picnic?
I think so.
So now we call it our park. And it's a little bit further than where we live, but I don't mind the drive.
We've done little surprises, we've done photo shoots.
Birthdays.
A little bit of everything.
This is different.
They're supposed to be fresh, but I don't know. Como quemaditas, no?
A little smoky. Tasty. Oh, and he mami papi.
Anyways,
What were we
let's
doing?
start off with the highlights. What did you like about last year?
Oh.
I mean, what was one thing that, like, from the top of your head, you can be like, oh, I remember this. Like, this was a good, like,
When we went camping.
for them. Oh, yeah, it was last year, you guys. So we went camping for the first time.
It's just a different experience.
Honestly, so far, the first one was my favorite.
The first time ever? Well, yeah, because it was something new. And the first time I seen in the video, like,
No, but
right?
the views.
Oh.
The views were nice.
Oh, I guess so, yeah. Yeah, I would say that's my highlight. Just camping, literally all the camping trips in general.
What was it called? Mammoth Mountain?
I think so. The one
Yeah.
with the waterfalls?
Yeah, but Mammoth Mountain, like the last place that we visited before we came home. I really like that place. I miss socks. Do you guys miss
Yes, that's literally what I was gonna say, like the biggest part. But then giving, not socks away, but kind of giving him away because we couldn't keep him at our apartment.
socks? Alright, let's just do it. We're just going to start telling you guys because we're basically telling you guys already.
Telling you without telling you.
Okay, so last year was really crazy. Like, it was just something so unexpected. Like, I mean, we didn't just have ups and downs, but we had like rock bottom downs, like to a point where it's like, dude, there's nothing else. Like, there's no more earth. Like, boom, very center. And that's for both of us. We basically shared with you guys most of the things that went good. You know, most of the trips, most of the fun parts, most of the, you know, parties, camping. And all those were good things, but it doesn't necessarily mean that 2023 was a great year for us, unfortunately. We can start off with the first year if you want to tell them about your car.
Oh my god, yes, literally
January,
entering,
okay, so January 2023 is when everything started.
Literally entering the year, just how Alex said. Right, so one time I just decided to go to the gym around like 6 in the afternoon. Sun was still out when I got there. 2 hours later, happy ass, I walk myself out of the gym. I go to my car, right? And my car is literally not there. It's not there, and I was like, did I park it somewhere else? That's the direction I was walking
to. I think it was during the daylight savings.
Oh, when I left, yeah, I was already...
It was like almost 8 o'clock because I was closing up at work.
Yeah. So then I walk out in my car, how I told you guys, my car is not there. And I start like, oh no, I probably just parked somewhere else, you know, let me go ahead and just walk around and then beep, 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 you know, so I can,
beep, 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 beep.
so I can hear the alarm going off, you know. And no, I couldn't hear anything. And I was like, no, I literally parked my freaking happy ass here when I got to the gym. Like, I know exactly where I park. I'm not dumb, you know. I'm dumb, but I'm not dumb. And I tell I go inside like nothing. I tell the girl at the front desk, I was like, hey, I think my car got robbed. Like nothing goes, no pasa nada. And then I was like, what the hell? After some time thinking, I called my mom.
I think you were kind of in shock.
Yeah, probably, because it's like, bro. And then so I called Alex once I was inside after I talked to the girl. And he's like, what do you mean your car is gone? Like, are you sure you parked there? I was like, babe, I literally checked the whole damn parking lot. Like, yes.
Pause.
And I was like, yes, I literally freaking checked the whole parking lot and this should have been there, but it's not. And then, so he was at work and he couldn't leave. He was like, what, an hour?
No. I was already going to leave, but I couldn't leave right there because I was already closing the store. So there was no point for me to leave and come back. And then plus, I mean, it wouldn't have made any difference if I would have left with work. I mean, the car's already stolen.
Yeah. And another thing, guys, I didn't take in mind, I didn't have insurance. That same month that my car got stolen, my insurance had fucking expired. So I didn't renew it, you know, because I was like waiting until Alex to get our insurance together this time.
Just though, that 1 week, guys, that 1 week that we were like, let's just hold off until we get it together. And that 1 week that she didn't have insurance is when it got stolen. It's almost like the insurance companies knew it's gonna expire, let's steal her car.
No, because literally, and yeah, that was a freaking, oh my god. So I didn't cry, like, because I was like, oh, it's like materialistic, you know, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Especially with the whole thing that was going about like TikTok about like the Hyundais and stuff. I had a Hyundai.
They started with the USB drive.
Yeah, dude, and I was, oh my god. Again, I wasn't like crying or anything. Not until I got home, because I didn't know if my social was in my card. Because what did I have my social for? I think I left it there when I went to go apply for the job that I have now, and ever since then I never took it down. So I was just stressing about my social. That's when I started crying. I was like, fuck my social. Like, obviously you can't mess with the freaking social. That's like literally your whole identity. So yeah. But about the car, it's like whatever. But yeah, that's what freaking happened in January, and that's a bitch. No más a nosotros. So after that happened, I put a police report. I waited for them to contact me. It was found in the junkyard. I went to go pick it up.
They found it on the side of the road somewhere, and then they took it to the junkyard.
I know, that's what I meant. Well, yes, it was taken to the junkyard, or to the towing thing. So I went to go pull it out of the car, out of the
tow place.
The tow place, and I still had to pay down, like, to get it fucking pulled when it was robbed. Like, bruh, why am I paying out of pocket when my car was fucking robbed? I didn't take it there, you know, and just let it sit there. I paid whatever I had to pay, and then it didn't, like, it started, and they took it to my parents' house. It was like 3 minutes from the towing area, instead of like driving all my ass to like 10-20 minutes to our house. So it was there, and then once I was at my parents' house just trying to figure things out, like taking pictures, cleaning the car out and stuff like that, I had my brother drive behind me just in case.
It's because it was making a really weird sound when you turn it.
No, because I thought that it wasn't that messed up, like, oh, they just broke the windows, like it can turn on, you know, especially now that they showed me that it turned on right there and then.
But they literally, like, they cracked the screen, and the window was broken, and when you were turning on, you just hear a flap, flap, flap.
Yeah. So, but fast forward to February, I'm done. I was like car searching, and then I went to CarMax. That's where I got my first car. So the second car that I have also got a CarMax. And then I had, with the other one, I had a MaxCare thing.
Because of that MaxCare thing, they actually gave her money back. Because she still owed what, like how much did you owe?
I owed $5,000. I was almost freaking done.
What ended up happening is that they paid off $4,000 of it, and I think she only had to pay like $1,000 out of pocket. But they added that $1,000 on top of her new car, and that basically took our whole January. Like, that was our first tragedy of 2023.
The whole commuting back and forth too is like, he had a job, he had to drop me off early way before the night went.
Oh yeah.
So just him having to pick me up, me having to wait for him until like after he was out. It was just a hassle. Or I would ask for like co-workers for work, my brothers for a ride, sorry. And it was just a lot. Not until February where we got a car, and it kind of looked up. But then what happened then?
Yeah, so we were like, everything's good, you know, 2023 is still gonna be our year. Let's go ahead and just keep going. But then, as you guys saw back in December, we actually got a little puppy. I got a little puppy for Brie. I got a little puppy. We ended up naming him Socks. He was with us for what, 3 months? Basically his whole puppyhood he was with us. But then something happened with the landlord. But long story short, the neighbors downstairs, they complained, and it just became a whole thing, which is understandable. But like I said, I guess it was a sign, because we did start working a lot. And then from there, I made the choice. I was like, well, you know what, he's part of the family. Let's just try to do something. Let's just try to work something out. And that's when I got the brilliant idea of trying to get finally a house for us. But that became a whole other thing, and it was just a no-go, or they wouldn't get back to me, and it's just kind of like, it just wasn't working out for me. And then plus, as a first-time home buyer, you guys don't really know what to expect, what to look for, what to ask for. And so that whole process basically took all of February. But long story short, I couldn't get a house, and we couldn't even rent a house, because we had to look financially too, and it just wasn't worth it for us to rent a house, especially if it's never going to be ours, because we were paying very little at the apartment. That's the only reason why we stuck there for so long. So after that point, we decided, hey, let's just find Socks a home. Oh, but we actually ended up taking him to my mom for a little bit.
He stayed in the family.
He stayed in the family for like another, I would say another month.
A month and a half.
Yeah, a month and a half. And that was basically all of March. Like, all of March was us going to my mom's house pretty much every other day to clean up after him, to feed him, to take him out, to play with him. But regardless, we knew that the day was going to come, and we had to find him a home. We ended up finding him a home, and now he's somewhere in Washington with the family.
I literally say our dog got to travel to freaking Washington before we even went, which is freaking crazy, like a freaking full circle, because we've always been talking about going to Washington, also because he has like friends out there, and it was like, oh babe, we're gonna go, but we never got around to it. But yet our son is out there living his best life with the family that literally loves him, and they send us pictures here and there.
They sent us pictures back in, I think, in December or January, and it was like a family picture. He was wearing like a little sweater and everything,
and little booties and stuff. I know, he was so cute. But there's not a day literally where I don't miss him, guys. I have him as my freaking lock screen still, literally.
Huh?
Because it's my stink. Oh, the wrong one. Because he's my stink. But I don't know, that's so sad. I've been telling Alex that I want another dog, but no, he doesn't want one, because again, the responsibility, and yeah. And
then in April, I think it was just kind of like a whatever month. We kind of just worked and try to get financially stable, because it was an expense to get like Bree's car, and then the placas, and then the insurance, and it was just more of a financial thing that we were doing in April. And then in May we visited Palm Springs, because it was my mom's birthday.
Oh my god, I literally totally forgot about that. You see how I forget stuff?
I never forget stuff.
That was another good that was a good highlight too. That was so fun.
What you like about that?
I like one that we stayed at Airbnb. It wasn't our first time, but it was like a Sunny went, Izzy went. It was just like a whole thing. And then his mom and George were over at our place just in the pool and vibing. It's just like a whole weird get together kind of thing, because we didn't do much out there except for like the ski lift, which is also amazing because all the views and stuff. But I really like that we were together just in that house, just like chilling by the pool. Like it would have been our house, something that we want in the future. That's what I think I loved about that trip.
Yeah, it was really nice. And it felt good to just get away, visit new places.
It's just whenever you guys, like if you guys go on vacation, you guys know, it's just to get away from your freaking everyday life. You're going to work, doing the same routine over and over. And then when you're on like vacation, you're relaxing, doing what it is that you like to do without worrying about your life back home, in a sense. So I think that's the best part I love about like when we go traveling. Same thing with camping. It's just like the nature around you and stuff is just like so peaceful and something different. Even though it's here, it's just different. And us almost finishing the food. We're midway through the year though, so
already
comes mucho. And I already had 2. Nah, the third one here. ¿Cuántos tienes?
4.
Damn, honey, your 5th one. Go ahead. In August? What happened in August? That's like summertime.
In August was when we went to Mammoth Lakes. Yeah, so June, July was kind of just like whatever months, kind of just worked. And then in August, we actually got to go camping for the first time, and when it was to Mammoth Lakes.
But yeah, I guess that's what we did in August, guys. I don't know, look back in our videos, because I don't remember. Si tú dices.
No, you don't remember the dates, but you remember what we did.
Yeah, I remember what we did, but not the dates.
Good thing I wore sweatpants, because if I would have worn pants,
I better do my button, because hey.
I would have to unbuckle. But yeah, you guys, that's for the most part, I mean, fast forwarding, because I mean, obviously we're not going into details, but because we don't want to make this like super long. Fast forwarding to like after August. August was probably one of the last months that we had that was like really, really good for us. I mean, we had a great time. It was something we had never done before. It felt like life was finally on our side, you know, like everything was finally good for us. And then on September 1st of 2023, I got a call from Sunny and Brie, and I was at work, and I knew something was happening, because for me to get a call from Sunny and then right away get a call from Brie, I knew it wasn't like, yo, just to say hi or to ask a question. And so I give them a call back, and they tell me, hey, you know, Mom, she, you know, don't worry to tell me, don't worry, or don't
yeah.
get,
So let me
do
my point of view, and then you'll do your point of view. So whatever, September 1st or 2nd, I don't know. It was a Saturday, early September's, and I was at home. It was my day off, and I get a call from Sunny, which not that she never does, but it's not like frequently or normal for me to like call. We either text or something. But Sunny called me and she's like, hey, I'm at the hospital with my mom. Like, at school, se desmayó, this and that, you know. She wasn't feeling well, so we had to call an ambulance. And then she's like, oh, like I was wondering if you can get a hold of Alex. So do you need me to go to the hospital? And then she's like, yeah, if you want to come. And then so I drove over there, and then on my way driving to the hospital, I was calling Alex, and he didn't answer the first time. And I called him again, and he answered, and I was like, hey babe, like I don't want you to worry, but I'm heading to the hospital because your mom's there. To
finally get personal with you guys, because I know we have been like letting you guys know about like things that have been going on, but my mom has always, like, she had always suffered from like health conditions, you know. A long time ago she had a heart open surgery. She had recently, just in the last 2 years, I think, she had gotten diagnosed with diabetes. So where I'm trying to get at is that she has always had health problems, and there has been multiple times. This wasn't the first time that she ended up in the hospital because she didn't feel well. And me, I'm the type of person that I try to stay optimistic as much as possible. I try to keep a positive attitude, and, you know, try not to imagine the worst, because you only hurt yourself that way, I feel. And so I was like, okay, well, she's not feeling well. I'm gonna get off work and I'm gonna go see her. You know, she's gonna, you know, we're gonna do what we have to do. She's gonna go back home and she's gonna be okay. She always gets back up. Most she's ever stayed was for like a week, was because she had to get surgery. And so we ended up going to the hospital that night, and the doctors couldn't find anything on her. I mean, they ran multiple tests and they did so many things for her, or to her, I should say. You know, they drew a whole bunch of blood. And she was just in the emergency room the whole time. She was telling me, like, when I got there, she was telling me her symptoms. She was saying that she just felt really hot, and that she was very, very dizzy. She couldn't focus. Like, she couldn't keep her eyes open because it would just make her more dizzy.
Yeah,
too.
and she couldn't even get up to like by herself to use the restroom, because again, she was dizzy, and like if she were to try to get up, she would fall just back down.
The way that she explained it was like, if you guys ever just get up really fast and you feel lightheaded, she felt like that, but constantly, like non-stop. It's actually symptoms that she had never told us about before. A lot of times there were chest pains before her surgery, and like I said, we were just more and more concerned because the doctors couldn't find anything. I mean, like I said, they did so many tests, they didn't find anything. And then to top it off, my mom, I felt like she felt some sort of way, because she had mentioned to me like a few weeks back that there was something going on with like her Medi-Cal and her insurance and things like that. Not only that, but she was also letting us know that, you know, she just wasn't comfortable at the hospital. She wasn't resting. One, there was too much noise, and like I said, she couldn't handle it because of how dizzy she felt. She felt like anything bothered her. She was really hot. She told me that all she remembers is her being at Sunny's school, getting her nails done, and that she just felt lightheaded and blacked out, and that she woke up in the hospital. That's what she told me. What Sunny had told me was that she felt lightheaded and she felt dizzy. They bought her a soda because they thought it was la presión.
Her pressure.
Like,
for the diabetes.
Pressure, yeah. And apparently she started throwing up. She started throwing up uncontrollably, to a point where even when she was getting transported in the ambulance, she was still throwing up. So she wasn't laying down, and she wasn't sitting up. She was kind of like just kind of sideways. On the bed. They couldn't lay her down because she might throw up again. That's what she had told me, was that she doesn't remember anything from the moment she got lightheaded to the moment where she woke up in the hospital. Sunny told me that she just kept throwing up constantly. That night, I had decided to just let my mom rest. George and her still hadn't decided whether they wanted to stay at the hospital or whether they wanted to go home. George was really pushing on going home just because, one, my mom was already like not comfortable there, two, they weren't finding anything, and then three, my mom, she didn't want to stay there. A lot of it I feel like is because she felt like because she didn't have insurance, that the bills were just piling up, you know. And I had told them, you know, I was like, hey, let me take Sunny home so we can rest, you know, obviously, like. And then again, I'm still keeping that, trying to keep that positive attitude of like, you know, everything's gonna get better tomorrow. If it doesn't, then we're gonna have to do something about it. And so I took Sunny home, and then I went home. Brie had already gone home because she had to go work the next day, so she went home to rest. And then another thing too, you guys, you know, just to top everything up for us, I mean, we were already going through something because my mom was in the hospital, but Sunny had actually gone home. She had gone home to get ready. She said she was gonna shower, get some stuff, because she was gonna sleep over at my house. I stayed at the hospital just in case George or my mom needed anything. She took my mom's car and she went home to get ready. A few minutes later, I say about 20-30 minutes later, she calls me, and she calls me scared. She tells me, hey Alex, somebody broke into the car, and there's broken glass everywhere, this and this and that. She got really scared, and I panicked because she made it sound like there was someone trying to take the car while she was on the phone with me. And so I just grabbed my keys. I remember just rushing up to the hospital and going to see her. And I kept her on the phone just to try to calm her down. I was like, are you inside? Yes, I'm inside. I was like, just stay inside, don't worry about the car. It's because my stuff is in the car, like my school stuff, like, you know, my maleta, my mannequins, everything. I was like, don't worry about it, just don't go outside, just turn on the lights, you know, so they can see someone's home. But like I said, she made it sound like they were stealing it as she was on the phone with me. But I got there and the car was still there, the window was broken. It was just really scary, guys, just because, one, my mom's in the hospital, and then two, Sunny's like at home alone, you know. And so I got there, and like I said, the glass was broken. They didn't take anything. It kind of looked like they tried to take the car, but it was a push start, maybe because they saw it was a Hyundai. They thought they could just turn it on like breeze. They didn't manage to take it. All basically that happened was that the window got broken. But I told Sunny, I was like, just leave the car. We put it inside, and I took her back to the hospital. Once we got back to the hospital, we waited there for a little bit, and then apparently, from what George had told us at that moment, at that time, it was already like 12 at midnight or almost 1 in the morning. He told me that they were going to run one more test for her, and if they didn't find anything on her, that they were more than likely going to go home. I was like, that's fine. If that's the case, then we're going to go ahead and go home too. You guys are going to head home. I'm going to take Sunny to my apartment. Just make sure you call me, because again, like Brie said, my mom was very weak. They were gonna need help with her, like, you know, going up the stairs of the house, getting her into bed and stuff like that. So I was like, just give me a call, and then I can come back and I can help you guys. I got home and we laid down on the couch, and I was like, Sonny, just get some rest, you know, tomorrow we'll see, it's another day. And so I laid down next to her on the other couch. Brie was already asleep. I close my eyes, I rest, and then I wake up like at 2 in the morning. I don't see any calls, I don't see any texts. And in my head, one, you know, you wake up at 2 in the morning, you're not really awake, you're just kind of like drowsy, like kind of woken up, but not really. And I was like, okay, I didn't get a text. Again, trying to be as positive as possible. Maybe they found something, they ended up staying in the hospital. And so, you know, I didn't even think about, well, let me give them a call, or let me text George, see how she's doing. My mentality was just like, maybe they're already resting, you know, even if they're at the hospital, maybe George is resting, or resting, whatever. I was like, but
so is it like you didn't want to be a burden kind of, and just keep like...
I honestly don't remember. I mean, the logical thing for me, the moment I woke up, now that I look back, was maybe giving them a call, making sure everything was okay. But I didn't, you know. And so I even just got out of the couch and I went to bed, and I was like, let me just rest. And so I closed my eyes. Next thing I know, Sonny's running into my room saying, hey, George called me. He says that my mom's not responding, and George already called the ambulance. I just grabbed my stuff. I remember just grabbing my glasses so I could drive, and we rushed out the door. And on my way over there, you guys, all I can think about it was like, just please, God, just give me one more chance. Like, at this moment, I'm just thinking about myself, like, hey, you know, whatever I did, if you're trying to punish me, like I said, this is what was going through my mind. Obviously, maybe it wasn't the way to think at that moment, but I was like, you know what, whatever I did, if you're punishing me, if this is for something that I did, if this is for a way for you to tell me to wake up, I promise you I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna do better. And you know, there's all these things that's just running through your mind, and while I'm driving over there. at the same time, I'm trying to just, you know, keep it together for Sunny, because Sunny was really scared. She was very worried. I mean, how do you expect the person to react when you tell them that your mom's not responding? So we get there, and the ambulance was already there, the firefighters. And all I remember, you guys, was that we were just there, and George came out of the room. We were trying to go in there, but the paramedics were already in there. They were trying to do, you know, their job. I don't know what they were doing. All I wanted to do, you guys, was just rush in there and see my mom, and then just, you know, try to wake her up. But I don't know, you guys. Like, it's just a lot of things start going through your mind to a point where you kind of freeze. And I remember, you guys, I was just like, please, God, just give me one last chance, like one last chance. And I promise you, like, whatever I did, I'll figure it out. I'm not religious. I just remember that moment, I was trying to remember really, really hard a rezo, a prayer. I couldn't. But the harder I tried, the harder I tried, the harder I tried. Next thing you know, I'm saying the Padre Nuestro over and over and over, like if I had never forgotten it, yes. The firefighter came out. He didn't really have to say anything. You could see it all in his face. But all he said was, it's not looking too well. There's no vitals. But we're doing everything we can. There might still be a chance. And I don't know why, but I just heard lies in those sentences. But at the same time, I guess my mind was trying not to believe it either. And I kept praying, and I kept praying. A few minutes later, the firefighter comes out again, and he says, I'm sorry. And then at that moment, I just remember everything just went blank. And you go into like this, stage of like, you're there but you're not there. I walked through the hall and into the room, and she was there. She was on the ground, laying down, not moving. And it's a feeling that you just, if you've never lost anyone, there's just no way for me to explain it. If you've lost someone, obviously you know it's not the same for everyone, but it's just a feeling of like not believing it, but seeing it with your own eyes at the same time. And after that, I just remember just sitting next to her, holding her hand. She was still warm, and then all these family members start to show up out of nowhere. They start saying their goodbyes, and I'm just there next to her, holding her hand the whole time. And
keep in mind, guys, I wasn't there until he was trying to get a hold of me, but I was at work, so I wasn't answering the phone. And then his aunt called me, and I was like, well, why is his aunt calling me, you know? So
you didn't answer me?
No, because I was at work, and I was like, oh, you're calling me, like, okay, whatever, you know? Like, he usually call me just because of my break, but I wasn't on my break. And then I see his aunt's number, like, pop out, and I was like, oh my god, like, why is she calling me, you know? And it was just that in that instant, I had, like, a gut feeling, because prior, how she was at the hospital, and I just had a gut feeling, and I just answered, and I was like, hello? And then she had told me, you know, like, oh, I need you to rush over here because, you know, Alex is, like, he's stiff, like, he's not moving or nothing, like his mom passed, like, he's just sitting there without saying anything. And then I went into the office with my manager, and I was like, I started bawling, obviously, not my mom, but because of how nicely she treated me and since the beginning. And it's just like, with the years that I got to know her, it's just like, if she would have been my mom, you know? So I just started bawling, and I was like, hey, I gotta go, like, I'm telling my manager, I have to go now, like, my mother-in-law passed, you know? And then so I'm over here rushing to his place, and I was just zooming through, and I was, same thing with you, it's like
to my mom's place.
To his mom's place, same thing. I was like, oh my god, like, oh my gosh, I'm crying. I was like I didn't know any lessons either, and I was just praying out of like some words, just saying words, you know. And then I get there, and Alex is just right there, how he said, like, all the family members are there. Sunny's next to, like, on the other side of his mom, so his mom's here, and then Sunny, and then Alex is just holding his hand, and I just go behind him, and I was like, babe, like, it's gonna be okay, but I don't know what to say, because how you said, like, if you've never been through it, you don't know how it feels or what it is to say. You can just say, like, I'm sorry, but what is that gonna do, you know? So I was kind of just there, and then people were talking to Alex, but he was like zoning them out, like he was not there. So it kind of made me like what the heck, like what do I do? So I just sat there next to him, and he never responded up until like the last part where she was getting carried out. Yeah, and I was kind of like freaking out, like why are you just, you know? But you were in shock and everything that happened, so I just kind of just sat there next to you.
Yeah, and I feel like that's one of the best things that Brie could have done, was just been there, because like she said, I mean, I don't even remember half of the people that showed up that morning. All I remember was just looking at her the whole time and seeing people, you know, moving their hand over her forehead, giving her a kiss, but I don't remember anything. Like, it's just all blurred, and I'd never experienced that before. So for you to just be there but you're not there, I had never experienced that before until that morning. And what amazed me was when somebody told me, it's like, hey, you know, it took a long time for the people that picked her up to get there. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, we were only there for a few minutes. But apparently it had been like 3 hours that I was there sitting with my mom until they came to pick her up. What I'm trying to say, it amazed me, it shocked me, because I'm telling you, it's just like time didn't exist. Like I was just sitting there for a few minutes and time didn't exist and nothing was happening other than that moment and that situation. I can try to find all these words to explain it, but I'm never going to be able to actually tell you in detail what it felt like. That was the biggest tragedy that happened to us. Not only in 2023, but at least for Sunny and I, probably of our lives. People would tell me what a good person she was, how she made them feel every time they saw her. I mean, keep in mind that my mom was sick. So the point where she had the type of sickness and the type of health that keeps people in bed. She kept going every single day, happy, camping, traveling, cooking, cleaning. I mean, it did not let her stop her. And that's probably another reason why we got carried away. Nos confiamos, and we're like, she's good, she's happy, she looks healthy. We didn't know. It wasn't until afterwards when we started talking about how she wasn't really consistent with her medication. She wasn't supposed to eat certain foods to a certain point. Maybe it looked like maybe she felt the same way. She got carried away. She started eating stuff that she wasn't supposed to. She was just living life, and you know, it just happened. From one night to the next morning, one day to another.
Quite literally.
Yeah, you guys, that was one of the biggest tragedies in 2023. We would have never expected that.
But ups and downs, but also another, like, I just wanted to give like a quick shout out for those that have been subscribed, for those that are subscribing, for those that continue to subscribe, like, just a huge shout out. Yes, it's not big ass numbers, but this and that. Yeah, just like Alex said, we're doing this not just because we wanted to see the numbers and grow and stuff like that, but because if his mom would have been here, like, she would have still been pushing us to do the videos because she would have loved to watch them. We're doing, in a sense, again, to leave like a footprint, a mark behind for when our children grows. Yes, it's kind of cliche and stuff, people always say that, but no, it's the truth. Like, we started just doing it as a sense of like, oh, let's just record a pickup just to see maybe back in the future, you know, when we have our kids and we're growing older and stuff like that.
Definitely, guys. But yeah, you guys, like she said, I mean, we definitely saw the channel start growing a little bit faster towards the end of the year, and we do appreciate everyone that has subscribed. Apreciamos a todos los que se han suscrito. Desafortunadamente, pues sería muy largo hacer el video en español and in English, but you know, it's just easier for us sometimes to express ourselves in English. But I mean, I think we can do a little bit more videos in Spanish.
I think like in the community que tenemos like a mix of both Latinx and then like English speaking. I feel like maybe later in the future, we're gonna like accustom to be a little bit more Spanish speaking. Just because, how he said, it's easier for us to communicate in English because we don't speak to each other in Spanish, but we speak to our families in Spanish. So okay, so end of November, after Thanksgiving, you know, we did the family things, and then birthday something we did anything. But and then remember, we were basically contemplating if we were gonna move out of our apartment or not moving out of our apartment. And I was, yes, I'm gonna admit, I was hesitant. Obviously, you're just scared of change. And yes, Alex tells me all the time, you're not supposed to be scared of change, or else you're not growing this and that. But it's just being different, you know, like. having it be our first home together, it was gonna be my second year living with him at that place. And I was like, whoa, no, I don't want to give up our place. You know, it's our freaking place. Like, we made it our place. But because the situation about his mom passing and stuff, we were also having to think about Sonny, Alex's stepdad, in a sense. He was already not moving on with his life, but moving towards something else and wanting to let the house go because he had created a studio that he was gonna move in. So Sonny was nowhere else to go, right? So then Alex like basically said, well, Sonny's gonna come move in with us. She's not gonna be able to live here in the apartment because it's just one bedroom. Just like it fell into his hands, how Alex says all the time, like it kind of just fell into our hands that his aunt was renting a house and it had a 2-bedroom. So again, I wasn't sure that that's what I wanted to do. There was like pros and cons to it. We discussed what was gonna work, what wasn't gonna work, and then at the end of the day, we just thought that it's gonna be best. 1, because it's a new space. 2, it had
more privacy.
Privacy. There you go. 3 and 4, because we need a place for Sonny. So we took the leap, guys. We're renting a house now. So
towards the beginning and throughout December is when we started moving everything little by little, and it basically took us the whole month because we were doing things, like I said, little by little, because we were also working.
And then we also went camping in December. So that
we did go camping too. On December 22nd was our first night sleeping there because it was the last night at the apartment.
There you go. Yes.
It was a big change, but we're happy with it. Like I said, that was the last month of the year. That's what we did. So far, so good. You know, it's only been a month and a couple of days, but we're doing good. I feel like we've been there for a long time already.
Yeah, I just feel like it. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, that pretty much sums up 2023. I mean, it was definitely a year that impacted us in all sense of the word. But yeah, you guys, that pretty much sums it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, it was really, it just felt good to just express and explain to you guys exactly what happened to us in 2023, because we didn't want you to feel like it was just like it's because it's really easy to just like assume just because of the things that you see, but the things that you don't see is, you know, what makes a big difference. So we want to share everything with you guys just because, like we said, the channel is growing and we do want to be a little bit more involved, and we want this to keep growing. We want this to be a big thing. I think we're doing a pretty good job, you know?
I think so. I mean, we're pretty funny or whatever.
Yeah, but yeah, you guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, this was just 2023. You know, we can plan for 2024, but we really don't know what to expect. But yeah, you guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.